Hi and hello everybody, it's Fern. Welcome back to another Planty video. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Moss Pole Madness, where I just do all of the moss pole maintenance that needs to be done in my collection that has usually been accumulating for a good couple of months. So today I'm dropping you right into the middle of the chaos because I actually did half of the work yesterday. I filmed it. I started filming this video, and early this morning I went to edit the footage that I had, and it's not really usable, unfortunately, because my TV was flickering in the background, which drives me crazy, and normally I turn it off, but I forgot to, so yeah. Okay, I just pulled them all down while the air conditioning is on, just so that I could, I don't know, do something to prepare here while I'm waiting for it to cool down. But it always just cracks me up when they're like lined up here like this. It looks so funny. They're huge. It's kind of cool to see them together because obviously they're usually in their little spots. So yeah, so cute. Manjula, new leaf, how pretty is that? It's still hardening off. New leaf here, new leaf here, and a new leaf here. So yeah, anywho, see you momentarily. So I was gonna just scrap this video entirely, but I was in the shower this morning and I was like, no, I think that I can salvage this. I still have a lot of moss pole stuff to do today, so I'm gonna kind of get you up to speed with what I did yesterday. So yesterday I basically did all of my plants that just needed an extension. So we did Philodendron Majestic, Monstera alba, which is looking stunning, Philodendron Brantianum, and who else did I extend yesterday? Oh, Philodendron gigas. So those plants were all at the top or growing over their poles. So now they are all sorted out. So that was pretty straightforward. Doing just the extensions themselves like really isn't that bad. Where most of the work comes in is when I have to do chop and extends. So I was doing this kind of later in the day yesterday, and I ended up chopping my plants that need to be chopped and extended, but I haven't, and I ended up I had to take apart a bunch of poles because I wanted to reuse these darker ones. So long story short, I have a bunch of my plants that are just cut, and they are just these top pole cuts of my plants. So this is my Philodendron Glorious. Stunning new leaf coming in. Now my Philodendron Glorious, I actually took a couple of cuttings from just around like the middle of the pole, I guess. I didn't take the very lower leaves or like keep the base because the leaves were just a little bit less nice looking. So I wanted leaves that were a little more fresh. So I have two cuttings in this pot full of leca now. I haven't added the water yet. I think I'm gonna water everyone at the end. But I'm starting a new Philodendron Glorious because I'm planning on putting this above the TV where my Philodendron Florida Ghost used to be. That is my current idea that I want to try out, but this needs to grow out for a while. Like before I put the Philodendron Florida Ghost up there, it was a pretty it wasn't huge, but it was a trailing plant already. So I think I want to grow this one out for a few months probably before I put it up there. But we'll kind of see how it goes. So yeah, I have two cuttings in here, and I don't even know if I'm going to end up keeping both, but I don't know. In case something happens to one, I'm keeping two for now. Maybe whichever one gets going the best, I will end up keeping. So the rest of the plants that we have to pot up and then extend today are Philodendron Florida Ghost. These are all looking a little crazy, these top cuts. Philodendron Florida Ghost. Now this was growing with two vines in the pot, but the other vine actually was not rooted into the pole at all. Like it's literally just a naked vine. So I'm gonna try to just stick this in the moss pole and see if it roots. I feel like it's a bad idea considering like maybe I should cut it in half so there's just a couple of leaves. That's probably a better idea, so maybe I'll do that. But yeah, the secondary vine just did not have any roots in the pole, so we're gonna figure that out. And then we have the top cut of my philodendron verrucosum. I actually kept 2 poles of this one because this plant just has such long internodes that, yeah, I just kind of needed to keep 2. So we're gonna get this potted up and pop probably 2 poles on top of it as well. And then I have one more that just needs a simple extension, my Mandula pothos. I'm just gonna pop another pole on top of here, very, very straightforward. So that is where I'm at currently. So my next step is to just get these potted up. They're all gonna be going into leca. I think, yeah, they all were growing in leca already. So they're going back into leca in self-watering pots. I washed the pots last night, so I'm just gonna get them in, get them resituated, and then after that we will move forward with the extensions. Okay, we're gonna start with the Florida Ghost, and I'm just gonna use this basic self-watering pot. This is actually the same pot that the mother plant was in, so I'm just keeping it the same since it grew so well in here. So I'm just gonna remove some of the moss from the bottom part of the pole because it's just gonna be submerged in the leca. Okay, so that should be pretty good. I'll probably want it about there. Now this plant is really going off to one side because this is the side that faces the window. So that's why she's looking so crazy like that. Okay, I have my leca bin here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and fill this up. Okay, we are all filled up, and now I just have to remove this dripper. And go ahead and pop an extension on here. I saw a comment recently asking for me to do a like moss pole specific video when it comes to the maintenance of them. And I do have a moss pole specific video that I will link for you, but I can do an updated one because I think I was still using the cup drippers on top at that time, which is more or less the same than the ones I'm currently using, but there might be some like minor changes like that I could, because I think that video is a couple of years old, so I might this fall do an updated just like moss pole specific video. So if there's anything that you want to know about the care or my growing experience or really anything to do with moss poles, then leave your question in the comments of this video so I can include it when I film that. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add my little connector. Now this is a very like underrated part of the moss pole in my opinion, because when I don't put this on, I always have troubles. Either the taller ones, like when you have more than 2 stacked, this really helps with stability. They can be quite unstable without this, and they also just help keep the pole together when I go to move them, because when I don't have this on, I grab the top and it comes off unless the plant is like fully rooted into it already. So it definitely saves me from catastrophe, because I do grab, just like move my plants by grabbing the moss pole a lot. Okay, so now we are all locked in. Perfect. Okay, so now I need to fill this up. I'm just gonna reuse some of the moss that I took off of the roots. Okay, so I figured that I would quickly mix up my nutrients here so that I can start getting these watered as I go. So I'm gonna be giving a diluted mix of my regular Power Grow from Nurture System that I typically use to water all of my plants. And then I'm also gonna be going in with a new product that I have not tried, well, new to me, that I have not tried yet, which is the number 3 Rapid Recovery, which is meant to rehabilitate plants that have gone through stress. So I feel like moss, pole, chop and extends is like this is the perfect thing for that, because I can tell that these plants are already getting stressed. Like the Verrucosum looks super droopy because it literally it lost more than half of itself yesterday. So yeah, so I'm just gonna be mixing up a liter. So I'm gonna do a liter of the regular fertilizer, or sorry, a ml of the regular fertilizer. Normally you do 4 mils per liter when it's for semi-hydro, but like I said, I just want to make this diluted because the roots in the pot are non-existent at this point. We're just working with the roots in the pole, and I don't know, I don't want to stress anyone out, so. And then this one says to do, okay, so the semi-hydro recommendation, which I guess is what I'm gonna be doing because I'm not soaking or anything, it says add 1 ml per 5 liters of nutrient solution. So I need 0.2 mils, which I'm just gonna honestly guess at. So I'm just gonna put like a tiny bit. Ooh, wasn't expecting it to be that color. Okay. We're going in with this tiny bit. Okay, so now we have our turbocharged nutrients here. Mix it up. All right. So I'm gonna use this in both the poles. The poles are a little bit moist already, but just to top them off, and also to fill up the pots. And I'm gonna use this in the glorious pot that I'm like restarting as well. Just gonna bring it up here because that is easiest. All right, now I just need to figure out where the heck I'm gonna put this plant for now. Okay, we're almost done with the Florida Ghost. The last thing that I want to do is cut those 2 leaves, this one, and then we have 2 leaves left. I'm gonna stick this vine in the pot and on the pole. These are so nice. Maybe I'll keep them in a prop vessel. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Things are looking questionable. That's okay. Literally just gonna stick this in the leca. As best as I can. And then adhere it to the moss. Okay, I think this growth point suffered some damage, but hopefully it will be okay. I need to strap the rest of the plant into, oh my gosh. This is just kind of crazy right now. Okay, that is just as good as I can get things right now. I'm gonna go put her back in her spot, leave her the heck alone, and just let her settle in again. Okay, so she is back in her spot, looking naked as heck, but such is the cycle of having houseplants, so it's fine. I'm sure that she will make a comeback. Whether this goes well or not, I could just restart cuttings if I had to. Like, it's not the end of the world either way, which is why I don't stress too much, especially when it's a plant like this that grows so quickly. And then I decided to put the Philodendron Glorious cuttings down there. Now they do already have roots as well, because there was a pretty decent root system in the moss pole at each of these nodes that I took. So I'm expecting this to just settle in pretty seamlessly, and they look like really healthy leaves as well. So yeah, part of the reason that I dread my moss pole maintenance days so much is just because of the mess that everything makes. I was boiling leca in here yesterday. I have poles, pot pieces all over the place, cuttings all over the place. Look at all of the freaking moss on my floor. There's random leaves everywhere. Like, it's so crazy. So I always have a lot of cleanup to do after I finish. Okay, Philodendron verrucosum looking a little rough, but I mean, they usually do look a little rough after the pole extensions. I'm hoping that the extra nutrient boost that I'm giving them is gonna really just help to perk everyone back up. But I did add 2 poles on top of this one, and I do that just because the internodes are so incredibly long on the verrucosum. I actually kind of not looped, but bent that one a little bit, because it was just so long and it would have been attached like way up here already. So I was like, no. So sometimes when they're soft, you can kind of like meld them how you want to save a little bit of space. So that's what I'm doing. Hopefully that doesn't stress him out even more. I don't know. I'm gonna put this right in front of the window now, probably for the next couple of weeks. I always like to make sure everybody is getting enough light after doing this kind of thing. So yeah, I'm gonna go pop him over there, and then we're gonna move on to the Glorious, and then we just have the Manjula to pop an extension on, and we're done. I was so close to finishing, but I have to hydrate more moss. I was down to my last strands, so I went downstairs and grabbed my sphagnum brick and I'm just gonna let it soak. It kind of takes a while, so I think I'm just gonna start with my cleanup because we only have 2 extensions to do once this moss is ready. So I'm gonna do that and then I will pop back on. I've got quite the operation going right now. I have leca boiling on the stove. I have things like half vacuumed. I have leaves that need to be brought out to the compost. Where's my little steak? And we are officially doing the last extension, which I am very happy about. You know, on a day-to-day basis, I don't find my moss poles to be a lot of maintenance. Since I started using the drippers, like I just fill them once a week, basically, and that keeps them moist enough. I mean, sometimes they'll be on the drier side by the time I get to them, but the roots still seem really happy. Like, I haven't had any issues. So the regular maintenance is not bad, but when it comes to these like full on moss pole days that I have to do every few months, that is when the maintenance is a lot, especially when you're doing chop and extends. Just a regular extension isn't bad. Like yesterday I just did the regular extensions and it really was not too much work. But yeah, just everything that comes with having to like deconstruct the poles and wash everything and, you know, boil the leca and remove it from all of the roots and all of the stuff that I kind of do off camera, that is a lot of work. So like I've been working on this for like a day now because I worked on it yesterday afternoon and then it's 1:00 p.m. right now. So yeah, it's quite the procedure, and I have definitely at least like an hour of cleaning, even though I've already started on it. I just, yeah, there's a lot to do still. So I'm just so happy to be finishing up here. I really hope that the plants are going to bounce back. I'm gonna continue to use that, what is it called? Rapid Recovery. The number 3 one. I'm gonna continue to use both of those for the next couple of weeks as well. Just to, you know, get everyone settled in here. So yeah, my goodness. I was thinking like maybe it would be easier for me to do, like break up my moss pole care and only do like 1 or 2 at a time when I'm doing other plant chores. But it just seems like when I have to like haul out all of my supplies, and it just seems more efficient to do things all like the same kind of task all at once. So if you have moss poles, let me know what you do. Do you like extend them all at once, or do you just tackle them one at a time? Okay, oh my gosh, this feels ceremonious. The last dripper. Dun, 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 dun. I am officially done. This one doesn't need anything else. It will just grow onto the pole. I don't mess around opening the tabs or anything. It just finds its way to root in. Okay, so it is actually the next day now, and I'm currently filming plant chores, more plant chores that you'll see next week. But I wanted to finish this video off by just, I don't know, doing an overview, because this video got kind of weird and I couldn't use a bunch of the footage, just to kind of wrap things up with a bow, if you will. So the ones that were really droopy yesterday actually look better today, so I'm very happy about that. I think that they just you know, went into a little teeny tiny bit of shock, but I am thinking that they will recover fine, and I'm hoping. Here's the verrucosum. This one was probably the droopiest yesterday. And I mean, this is a new leaf, so it's definitely soft, but even the other ones, like, they just don't look as bad. So I'm just gonna kind of leave them alone. Like I said, I have them in front of the window. I'm making sure that they have access to lots of light. And then we have some of the plants that just got extensions. The Mandula pothos already has a new leaf trying to emerge. Has tons of room to grow up now. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit back in its spot on the wall. So I don't know what the heck I'm going to put up there in the meantime. My problem with some of the plants is that they're in semi-hydro and they're too heavy to go on the wall. And then the ones that aren't inevitably get too tall. So rearranging is always in my future. And then we have the philodendron gigas right here. This new leaf did get a little bit damaged, not from the extension, it was damaged before, but it's actually not too bad. And now this one has room to climb as well, looking so cute. Philodendron majestic has an extension, and that is one that I'm really hoping to get some bigger leaves on soon. And then I also did an extension on my Brantianum, which was really growing over the pole in kind of a crazy way. And it's definitely not getting enough light because look at this newest leaf. It barely has any silver on it. So I could pop a grow light on top of here. Maybe I'll do that because I want it to stay super silver. It's just so pretty. And then Monstera albo looking absolutely stunning. Oh my gosh, and has a new leaf that is ready to unfurl at any moment. And lots more room to climb now. So those ones are looking great. Who else did we do the chop? Was it only those 3? Wait, what we did? 1, 2, who else? Oh, the Florida Ghost. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this one is definitely, again, I think it'll be fine. But man, I feel like this is like the most destructive chop and extends have ever been for my plants. Like I really just, they got manhandled a little bit. So yeah, but I think it'll be fine. This leaf does not look good down there. Oh my gosh. Send good vibes, you guys. That one's on the cutting that's not even rooted, so definitely questionable, but I'm hoping everyone's gonna pull through. And then down here we have my philodendron glorious number 2, and it's looking stunning. Like this one is doing so great. Like I said, it already has a root system, so I'm sure that it will settle in super easily. But I think that that's it. This one is also at the top of his pole, but it grows up pretty slowly, so I think I'm gonna leave it for now because I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do. Yeah, what am I gonna do? Maybe extend it? I don't know. Look at his chonky stem. Like, it's crazy. It's so huge. Yeah, I don't know. Have to figure that out in September or whenever it really starts getting over that pole. So that is it for this episode of Moss Pole Madness. Oh my goodness, that was a doozy. It's always a lot of work, but it always feels great to have that done. Like even doing plant chores today, just having like no moss pole things to do, I'm like, wow, it feels nice that I got that out of the way. And then this gal, she is coming off of the pole, so that's going to be one less moss pole for me. Although I do have a couple of plants that kind of need to be pulled soon, like my chia pens. I actually might just do a stake for that one. We'll see. But yeah, I have a lot of moss poles in here. Some might say too many. Anywho, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for hanging out. I know that not everybody likes moss poles. Not everybody has moss poles. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Leave me a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Like this video. That would really help me out. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.
try.